All right, men, welcome back. So glad you are here. Again, you are here at the Corporate Man channel, where I'm your host, Kevin Manley. Great to have you back. We're going to talk today about the importance of dressing well. Very important. Love this topic. It's one of my favorites. Now, this is directed towards a lot of our younger men. I know a lot of our older men were raised with certain things, but I want to target some of the younger guys because I think that what I'm talking about, I really want to present the argument. If you'll listen to me, I think you'll hear some things that will be convincing. The argument is why it is important to dress well, especially when it comes to your place of work, your place of business. Okay, now you may hear that and say, Kevin, who's doing that today? A tie, that's like a noose. Why would I do that? I can wear what I like. My job is fine with it, all those things. I don't disagree with you, okay? I understand and I fully acknowledge that today we're able to do a lot of things without the formalities that typically were involved with a lot of the transactions you would typically do, especially in banking, in the financial arena. And so, we have many things, mobile apps, all these things that make things much simpler to do. And again, those are the things I like to focus in on are the underlying principles, and that is excellence. Proverbs 22 and verse 29, it says, "Do you see him who excels in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before unknown men." Very interesting line of scripture there. And so how do we apply that? The place of excellence, right? Who wants to stand before a king? I'll raise my hand on that. And so it speaks of the importance of excellence. Okay, now if we bring a little bit of history into this, right? Now if we look decades ago, right, the way that you represented yourself was seen in several different ways across all of society. And so if you answered your phone, your home phone, many of us don't even recognize what that was if we saw it. You might answer, "This is the so-and-so residence," right? You are representing your family as you answered that phone. There was also the title of Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, which still is often the case today, but largely as far as in society and how we address people from a professional perspective has largely been removed. But that was a big dominant thing at that time. And so those are some of the things that were a part and integral within the mindset of many people, is that you were representing something as you went about your daily life, whether that was your work, whether that was your job. And so there was this idea of being at your best, right? When you represented something or yourself, your family, whatever it was. Now that has been changed to the mantra of, well, accept me as I am, okay? Now, I would challenge you, I'm sure you've seen this in many different facets, right? Whether it be at the job, the thought may be, well, if you don't accept me as I am, I'll just go down the street to work somewhere else. And the moment someone is upset about something, they're gone, right? Because you didn't accept me for who I am. You didn't accept me for the way I want to dress and all those other things. Now, what we see a lot of times, and the first one I've seen it in different environments where it can get to the point where some folks are even wearing pajamas to work, okay? I've seen it, right? So it can go to that extent. So what am I saying, right? It's not to say, again, that everyone has to be wearing a suit all day long, right? I was raised in an environment where I play sports all day long, so I'm typically wearing sweats, okay? So, but there's still an importance of, again, exemplifying excellence and representing that. Yes, society has changed. You can do a lot of things. Things have become much more relaxed in many different facets. But again, I would argue that that foundational principle does not change, the place of excellence. And so in every man's life, there should be a place of excellence where you are representing yourself well. I would advocate that that would show itself within your work environment. Now, typically outside of that, there's typically other areas where you want to exemplify excellence. If you're at a wedding, right, you wouldn't show up in any type of way. You would show up as the guest, or as the guest of honor are requiring or asking you to present yourself, right? So you would show yourself in a place of excellence. If you're going for that $1 million client, you don't want to just show up and say, well, give me $1 million. You want to put your best foot forward, right? Because you're representing the ideals that you want that client to see about you. Now, I'll give my final closing argument. In this space, I would actually encourage, and I think you would see this as you endeavor to wear something as a suit. For those, again, young men who maybe are saying, I don't know about this. I would actually challenge you. If you wear a suit, what things do you do differently? You talk differently, you walk different, you interact differently. You work differently. There's many things that you do differently simply by the way that you appear and simply by the way that you dress. I would actually challenge you, as we're talking about this place of excellence, I find, and this is my personal, I would advocate that when you do this, it brings you to another level. And if the idea is about excellence, then I would strongly advise you consider that. Okay, so ask yourself, are you truly at your best in your profession? That's what we're ultimately getting at, is exemplifying excellence. And again, I understand firefighters wear certain professional clothing, right? And they are at their best doing that. They're not going to wear a suit running into a fire. Hopefully not. I don't want that to happen because some of these suits are not fireproof. Don't do that. But I would say that again, in your profession, speaking specifically to the folks in the financial arena, I would strongly urge to consider this because, again, it can exemplify the excellence. All right, guys, well, thanks so much. I will talk to you guys soon. We'll get into some more fun things and fun topics. See you on the flip side.